A landmark event actually happened yesterday. Very little notice except for political nerds. Let's put this up there on the screen. The House GOP just voted in a secret ballot to reverse their internal ban on earmarks, meaning that Republicans will now take advantage of the new democratic system. Why does this matter? This effectively, Krystal, is the end of the Tea Party era. And this earmarks were one of the chief things that Republicans complained about under the Obama era. You'll recall pork barrel spending and lots of pork in the bill.
Lit up like a Christmas tree.
Glenn Beck had the whole thing laid out on his board and lit up like, flashbacks of nightmares. All of that being said, our long national nightmare is over. Earmarks were actually one of the things that made Congress tick, made it run. It was a way in order to basically buy off votes. It sounds nasty, but it's true, and I support that. Anything that makes this Congress do a goddamn thing, I support it. And if you were to look at our history, the Apollo program, many civil rights, all the most important pieces of legislation we've ever passed, it was a gross meat grinder in terms of what came out there. I'm cool with that. It actually made it happen.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very positive development.
A lot of it is like, you're going to get like a bridge. It's important. It's going to be named after you.
Or a federal center, or post offices are always a big thing.
I mean,
that's fine.
These things, that's fine. Like, it's a lot of times it's like burnishing that politician in their own state. It's incumbent protection.
Name on it,
But there can also be real benefits from some of these things. Like, if Nebraska needs a new bridge or whatever, okay, fine. But the biggest thing is it sort of greased the wheels of being able to actually get things done. You had something to offer. Without earmarks, and my understanding is Democrats actually, so earmarks had been banned.
Because of the House GOP, right.
Democrats put in place new rules saying basically like, we're bringing back the earmarks, and now the House GOP is saying like, okay, fine,
like, well,
we'll do it too. Okay, if they're doing it. So everybody's now back on board with earmarks. And look, it's not going to like dramatically change the ability of Congress to get bills passed that are going to benefit the American people, but at least it's a little bit of something. So you have something to offer an intransigent lawmaker in order to get them on board. It actually makes me think of when there was the push to get Neera Tanden confirmed. And the White House was kind of floating like, what could we give Susan Collins? Like, what could we give Susan Collins? Or what could we give Lisa Murkowski was the one that they ultimately landed on as like the last person they thought they could persuade. And we're willing to, to go to a variety of lengths in order to try to bring her on board. But that's the type of horse trading politics, hopefully for better ends than getting Neera Tanden confirmed, that you're ultimately talking about here. This was a big point of discussion during Obamacare, too. Remember the Cornhusker kickback?
Of course. What was his name? The Nebraska senator. I forget. This is like a whole
Cornhusker kickback. There was another one. Can you remember?
Bridge to Nowhere. That was a big one.
Oh, that was a big Sarah Palin thing, right?
She was for the bridge, and then she was against it.
the bridge,
and then she was for it again. Yeah, it's always fun.
So anyway, it's not that Republican Party has really reformed itself in terms of their spending or deficit hawk views, but at least they're sort of less like vocal about it.
The symbolic end to it is important. And I think here's the other thing. It's been 11 long years since this has happened. There are half the people in there who weren't even necessarily serving. And so they're about to discover governing with earmarks is pretty nice. And so I think that this might be here to stay, and it's a pretty big deal from that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, tomorrow on Rising, some of our favorite friends of the show join us for Team Rising, including Rachel Bovard, Roger Fez, Chuck Rocha, and Philip Wegman.
That's right, and Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton and I are going to discuss that temporary fencing around D.C. and what that means for our city. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well, and we will see you all later.
Have a good one, guys.